opponent is a serial liar.
Yes. Yep.
She's disregarded judicial ethics.
An angry concession speech last night from Wisconsin Supreme Court candidate Dan Kelly, who lost to liberal judge Janet Protasewicz in a race that was closely watched nationwide. Good evening, I'm Dan Wolf. Thanks for joining us. 24 hours after it was called for the candidate supported by Democrats nationwide, we're taking a closer look tonight at the race and why it was considered a huge deal by so many people. The results are in for the Wisconsin spring election. Again, a very closely watched race. This is what you see here. Democratic-backed Judge Janet Protasewicz defeated Dan Kelly in the race for Wisconsin Supreme Court. Protasewicz giving liberals a 4-3 advantage in the state Supreme Court. She won with 55% of the vote. That race happened to be the most expensive judicial race in U.S. history by far. Tonight, Northern News Now's Larissa Millis takes a look at why and what it says about the state of our politics.
A pricey push to the finish line.
Our state is taking a step forward to a better and brighter future where our rights and freedoms will be protected.
The lead up to Judge Janet Protasewicz's victory in the battle for Wisconsin's open Supreme Court seat was an expensive campaign.
This one is so important partly because it really has national implications, Wisconsin being a swing state, and so it's not surprising that so much money would be focused on this election specifically.
Monica Haynes is the director of the Bureau of Business and Economic Research at UMD. She says the polarizing politics in the state when it comes to issues like the 1849 abortion law and district voting maps drew voters to the polls and aided in record campaign spending.
I'm sure it had an impact because I think it just raised the awareness of the importance of this election.
The court has had a conservative majority for the last 15 years, but with Protasewicz's win, it will now swing more liberally. The Wisconsin Democracy Campaign tracks political spending in the state. According to a report it released one day before the election, Protasewicz and her backers spent about $23.3 million, compared with about $17.6 million spent by Dan Kelly and his supporters.
But a huge proportion of the spending is probably coming from external sources, not from within the state, and national lobbying campaigns and progressive or conservative-leaning groups that are trying to influence the results of the election.
An election for the record books. In Duluth, Larissa Millis, Northern News Now.
And just how much of a record? That more than $42 million spent on this race is nearly triple the previous national record for a court race. And by the way, you can find all the local results of Tuesday's Wisconsin spring election at northernnewsnow.com.